As more information comes out around DC Comics' decision to split from Diamond, we're getting a bit more. We're definitely getting some reactions from some creators and retailers who shock, outrage, happiness, kind of the full gamut. Interesting enough, the news sites for comics are mostly reporting the outrage. They're not reporting the people who are happy about this move, but that's what sells the clicks, I suppose. But let's get into a little bit more and what we can expect over the weeks to come. Hey everybody, this is Perch. I did a video earlier today talking at least initially about the news, some reaction, and some things to look for in the weeks to come. One of the things that I kind of mentioned shortly, but two items I want to follow up on. One is, we would hear from Diamond, and we did today. Steve Geppi, owner, president of CEO, founder, all those things, basically gave his statement saying that today DC had sent out a retailer communication indicating they're ending their long-standing relationship with Diamond. In April, we were informed that DC was going to begin distributing products for additional partners. At that time, they asked us to submit a proposal for a revised agreement with the understanding that Diamond would continue to be one of their distributors. They promptly did, which Steve Jobs said we promptly did. They then requested an extension to June 30th, which we also accommodated. It's unclear what this extension exactly is in his statement. Is it an extension of kind of that agreement or signing that agreement? I think what he's trying to say here is that they provided a revised agreement, and then DC requested an agreement or extension before they would sign it. I think that's what he means here, but a couple sites are misinterpreting what's said. Anyway, then DC requested an additional extension through July. Diamond, rather than grant the extension, responded with questions, and DC indicated they would reply today, June 5th, but instead of receiving a response, they received the termination notice. He says that we anticipate this as a possible outcome. I think that's an understatement of the year. Like so many in the industry, we are disappointed by their abrupt decision to end the partnership. Diamond goes on, Steve Geppi goes on to say, we will be strong and we're going to continue. We're a strong company. We've got lots of change impacts the industry. Kind of infers that we're well positioned to seize growth opportunities. You got to do spin and everything, but you're furloughing people, 2 months ago, but whatever. We continue to be excited, and basically sends a statement out to the other publishers. We're strong. We're here. DC is not saying more beyond their original statement, nor would you expect them to. Other than they are continuing to urge people to get signed up with UCS, with Lunar. I keep saying UCB. I think it's USB is in my head, but anyway, UCS and Lunar, and ultimately Penguin Random House. Now, it's this Penguin Random House I want to talk a little bit more about, because that's interesting. That's saying a little bit more about their plans maybe going forward. But the reaction to this was, of course, comic retailers. There's several of the usual suspects, as I mentioned before, very angry about it. A gut punch just in time for reopening their doors, they say. So, I'm not putting significant resources into their future products. At the end of the day, there will be a lot of kind of anger, pounding chest and everything else. But being pragmatic here, retailers are going to order what they can sell. A lot of retailers saying, I'm not going to order extra anymore. Were people ordering extra before? I don't know. I'd like to talk to those people. You're really ordering extra books at a time when stock wasn't all selling through. That seems a little hard for me. I'm struggling to believe that. But and why were you doing that? To be nice to DC? I'm confused. But now they say we're only going to order the minimums. Okay, timing this is terrible. A lot of people upset. Insane bombshells. I don't have a respectful comment that they are handling this. Very. I love how comic retailers go. They are handling this about as well as Captain Hook being a proctologist, said Ryan Seymour of Comic Town. All right. I will say this. DC has been operating not in secrecy, but they have given a lot less notice on a lot of these things than most retailers were expecting. And given that everything was locked down and it's been tough for people to get information and they're, in some cases, at the mercy of the states to know what's going on, some of these things are surprises that in normal circumstances would not be big surprises, but based on the timing of everything else, they feel frustrating, I think, to some people. But in addition, there, and then there's a bunch of the one that keeps getting me. I mentioned the other video is Brian Hibbs saying I'm being offered substantially worse payment terms from these new distributors. That continues to stick in my craw a little bit because it's an open secret that within Diamond there have been side deals and other things. Not everybody gets the same treatment. So while I'm sympathetic to retailers that had one agreement and now they have to kind of be back reset to zero like everybody else, it's always weird for when to me, and people do it where they decry a level playing field. They say we want a level playing field, except when I get special perks and I want to keep those perks, and it's unclear why they got those perks in the first place because there are shops that order more or have been open longer that aren't getting perks. It's a weird thing. So like I said, a lot of reactions and people who are upset. What is curious again is that there are it's very mixed in that you have a lot of the negative comments being um, put out, but you're getting very few of the positive comments. And there are plenty of retailers out there saying, "Okay, well, we'll give this a try, and maybe this will force some change and everything else." It always focuses on the bad news, and I don't get it. But I think the other side are the other kind of more peculiar piece is that DC announced, Penguin, a Random House, as being, an option for people, and this is not necessarily a news story, but the fact that they've been putting it out so much in their press does lead me to believe that you're going to see DC pursue with a lot more aggression additional deals like they did at Walmart. And by the way, as you've seen some of these people say, "Oh, DC always screws things up," and they're buffoons, and a lot of people are making comments about how DC always is terrible at this kind of thing. Part of why they're saying that was DC's digital plans. DC say they want to dip the toe in digital. They say they want to dip the toe in Walmart. They say they want to get multiple distributors going and want to shut down. DC is making moves to protect their business. Now you may like it, you may not like it, but it's curious to me that if you look back in time, unless you're extremely disingenuous, DC's digital plans did not hurt comic shops. In fact, if anything, helped bring people in. DC's move to Walmart helped bring people in. You really have to find an insane person who says that was a bad thing. Most people have come around to the conclusion that that brought new people into comics and was positive for them. So it's interesting that all the retailers, they get mad and then it works out, and then they get mad and then it works out. Will this work out? I mean, who knows? I do agree that the notice wasn't there, but it seems like at some point somebody should come up and say, "Hey, why are we always immediately yell at DC here when they make these things that are could be positive for the industry? We don't make a lot of noise about Marvel, who continues to put out very misleading incentive schemes for comics and ropes us into variants." But it's just weird. It's weird. DC takes more hits from a lot of these people, and I'm never quite sure why. Other than it's I think people come to expect a certain level of treatment and then they don't get it. I don't know. Hey, downvote me, retailers who whatever. Um, but really quickly back to Penguin, I think that's an interesting move because I feel like there's a prediction time. I feel like in the next 2 or 3 months, you're going to see DC announce more deals with places like Target or Kroger's or others to carry comics, carry anthologies, carry graphic novels, carry more. You're going to see DC start to make inroads back into whatever is left of the newsstand. I'm almost positive of it. I think a lot of these things, if you read between the lines, you get rid of kind of the more sensational nonsense. It absolutely feels like there's going to be some attempts to get their comics in places that don't have comics today. It really feels that way, and I think the Walmart experience, the experiment worked out well for me. So I'm hoping there's more of that. I would like to see comics more places. I think a lot of us have been asking for that. So who knows where it's all going, but it's interesting. But anyway, catching you up just on a little bit more of the news. This story will evolve. We've had one side, we've had the shots fired, and then we had the response. And so now we'll wait to see what the next piece is and where it all goes from here. But let me know your comments, questions below, things you'd like me to chase. I will do so. Otherwise, like, subscribe, introduce to a friend. Would appreciate that. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook at Comic Perch, and thanks for listening.